Welcome to TheoTrade. This is Don Kaufman. April 28th, 2021. Here we are with minutes to go to the cash close on a Wednesday afternoon with the S&Ps largely unchanged. Nasdaq down very, very slightly. It's a Fed slop fest of a day. But don't worry, because the Fed sees risks as transitory. But the markets are saying something very, very different. Let's actually dig into this a little bit here in this evening's video. So again, as we were saying, there's just moments to go to the cash close here on this Wednesday. And there's not a huge amount of standouts. In fact, when you start looking at the S&Ps, as I said, they're largely unchanged. The ticks, it's complete slop fest out there. The advanced decline line, I mean, a pure 50-50. So where do we go in a marketplace like this, especially when you're even thinking about some of the earnings announcements that have come out? All right, Microsoft traded to the downside. Oh, great. Well, Google was to the upside, and they literally offset one another. Nevertheless, some of the sell-side activity that you're seeing right now inside of the Nasdaq is not necessarily because, Microsoft's getting killed. No, Microsoft has actually done pretty much what it's doing throughout the course of the day. It's actually Google seeing a bit more sell-side activity into today's close that's pulling down the Nasdaq to a larger degree, not to mention some follow-through sell-side activity specific to Tesla. But let's push aside for a moment some of the individual equities and earnings announcements. I am more than aware that Apple and Facebook are coming out after the bell today. All right. And then, of course, the likes of Amazon will be out tomorrow. Again, all of the monsters of tech are going to release earnings. And people, that in very large part is going to drive order flow. And what's so interesting about this is, when I'm talking about, the Fed and the Fed announcement came out today, first of all, there are some just wild spikes to the upside here. That wild spike to the upside was actually caused by, for the most part, Jerome Powell saying he did his anything it's going to take kind of comment, similar to Mario Draghi from years past. But for the most part, the Fed stated in, again, some of their commentary after his it was only a 7-minute speech, I think, that Jerome Powell pulled off today. Nevertheless, it was anything it's going to take to support the economy comment ripped the marketplace to the upside. But then there was actually discussion, of course, of inflation. But don't worry, it's transitory, and that growth is actually larger than they anticipated, and the markets reacted a little bit. But in a larger sense, and something I've kind of been pointing out, if you took a look at implied volatility early on in today's trading session, the implied volatility in the SPX, for the most part, portended that nothing was going to happen in the marketplace. So when you look at this and you're like, the Fed sees risk as transitory, but what are the markets saying? The markets are saying, forget you. We know what you're going to do. I mean, it's all well scripted. All right, you're going to do $80 billion a month of bond buying, then maybe another $40 billion of mortgage-backed securities. The rest is yada yada yada. But you yada yada right over the best part. No, I mentioned transitory risk. I mean, for the most part, nothing was said, and that's exactly what the marketplace was pricing in. The irony here is that there's much more risk actually priced into some of the Nasdaq earnings. Right? So where do we see that? If you take a look specific to the QQQ, and I'll tell you what, you take a quick glance over here, right over to the right-hand side, we're actually still very slightly in backwardation inside of the Nasdaq. They're still pricing quite a bit of risk, and that's simply because, well, look at the expected moves in products like Facebook. So Facebook here is expecting about a $14 move. On a percentage basis, that's not that substantial. It's not, the marketplace is not going to be a rocket on that one. All right, so what else you got? All right, let's look at Apple, okay? Take a look at Apple. There's only a $5 expected move. Again, on a percentage basis, these are fairly negligible. Nevertheless, you start adding up the market cap of an Apple, of a Facebook, of an Amazon. Okay, and Amazon obviously is coming out Thursday after the bell, and you're looking at a $146 move, which seems absolutely huge. But come on, it's a $3,000, almost $500 product. Excuse me, I missed a decimal point there for a moment. So it is undoubtedly, okay, these individual products. There's the closing bell. it is undoubtedly these individual products that are actually going to drive, okay, futures contracts, not necessarily the Fed. And that's precisely what the marketplace has been saying in the last 24 hours. Speaking of the last 24 hours, well, here we go into the cash close. And of course, Facebook could be out literally any second with earnings, but we need not even look again at Facebook. I would watch the Nasdaq future specifically here to get rocked. Remember, Facebook will probably come out in the next few moments. Apple is typically 30 minutes after the close. Apple is special. They save the best for last, the biggest for later in the afternoon. No, but they definitely release quite a bit after the bell. All right, so kind of getting down to business. So what does this mean for the marketplace for the remainder of the week? And there's something I talk about it's become pretty much religion here at TheoTrade, and that is this expected move. And the reason I want to kind of delineate the expected move once again in this Wednesday evening video is, well, we've done absolutely nothing through the course of the week. Forget about the ranges. It's neither here nor there. In fact, I want to zoom in on this tighter, because this is really, and frankly, all that matters in the next 2 days of trade. Listen, here is where, okay, the week started. When I say the week, all right, it's ultimately where the previous week left off. So that's like Friday afternoon's close, and that's that central line over here. Here's where we currently are. So we closed on, last Friday at 41.80. Here we are at 41.83. We've done absolutely nothing, okay? So what do we anticipate? Well, we were looking for, all right, plus or minus approximately $60 on the week. So you're going to go up $60 or down $60. People, there's still an incredibly high probability, okay, of that occurrence happening. And one thing I'm going to caution you from, listen, I sell options premium. I sell options premium, but I do not sell short-dated options premium. Those of you listening to this, if you're out there, if you're going to sell some short-dated stuff, you better run, because they are not going to pay you anything. If you look at the possibility, and again, of a $60 move higher or a $60 move lower, and then you take a look at the SPX and what the SPX is pricing the options, okay, to move. The SPX is only looking for like a $33, $34 move, okay, between now and like Friday expiration. People, you go out and sell this, you're selling yourself into a shallow gamma grave. And that is one thing I just would not do it. No way, no shape, no how. Not today, not tomorrow, not Friday. Okay? Be very, very cautious. When we haven't done anything, there is a tremendous, even though the option volumes are down. In fact, last night, I saw the OCC report. That's the Option Clearing Corp report. And it was only 27 million contracts traded. The average for 2021, we have been typically doing 40 million contracts. We only did 27 million contracts yesterday. And what's shocking about that, when we did that kind of contract size, with like Microsoft going out and, Google, and the day I had Tesla the day before that, we should have been rocking in terms of volume. And there's no activity. This is dangerous. There's a lot of gamma, okay, that's still resting out there. We could rock it to 42.40 or take off back to 41.20. So if I'm literally saying, do not sell these very short-dated options, I am on the other side of that, and I will actually look at buy-side opportunities. I'm going to tell you right now, in the next 2 days, I want to be long gamma. I don't have to do it in the SPX, okay? I can cruise over to the spiders if the spiders are more comfortable, okay? I can cruise over to the QQQ, the IWM. This marketplace, okay, has the ability to make the move. You can see that in the expected moves. I mean, we can look at the QQQ as well, and you look at the Qs and come over to auto expected moves, and what do you see? The Qs have done absolutely nothing on the week. You look at the IWM, okay? The IWM is the only product that's actually made a bit of a move this week, but net, okay, we are largely unchanged, again, for the week. And being largely unchanged for the week with only 2 days left, again, definitely portends a substantial move and us actually being on, the buy side of premium. So, we wait with bated breath, all right, for some of the larger earnings, of course, to emerge. Again, both Facebook and Apple after the bell today, Amazon tomorrow. But people, that's just going to be a driver, predominantly the Nasdaq, and pulling the S&Ps along with it. With that, I am very likely, again, to execute into some buy-side strategies, real short-term stuff for Thursday and Friday. Look for it. I want to be net long gamma coming into Thursday or Friday. It looks like we do have maybe some action here in Facebook that is maybe a little premature, but there's some upside momentum inside of Facebook here. It's negligible, though, given the fact that we have a $14 expected move thus far. And there we are. Earnings are definitely out. Nasdaq is on the move. Again, kind of a knee-jerk reaction, but looking for about a $15 move. And you know the irony of this, the efficiency right now around earnings is just uncanny. It's incredible. You know, that, oh, well, we're supposed to have a $15 move. Well, you can pretty much, stick a fork in us because we're going to move pretty much precisely to that particular level. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here at TheoTrade. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.